friends, and welcome to LUTI this afternoon on this lovely Friday, March 7th. I am DRF, joined by the one and only Rice. How are you doing, my friend?
It's been an early morning slash afternoon for me. I had work in the morning, but glad I can make it to cast a Division X set. I think this is the second set that I'll be playing out this week for Division X.
Probably. I have not been following the scores from Division X so far, but there was a fantastic set yesterday. One could hope that this set would deliver to the same degree, but it is just on paper going to be an uphill battle right out of the gate, as we are looking at Entropy Black Lotus taking on Pollo. Entropy Black Lotus, they are coming into this as the top dogs of their group, of the division, really. So there's going to be a lot of expectations for them. Pollo, on the other hand, coming in as that last team to make it into Division X, as Popgun was, mentioning yesterday, and even in previous conversations, that this was kind of one of those teams where, they kind of needed to fill a spot. So Pollo is going to get the call up here, and they're going to get an opportunity to prove their worth in Div X.
Yeah, but Pollo doing a lot in terms of they've been doing a lot in every single tournament I've been watching. Like I think they got first place in SOS last week. They got first place in Mesozoic on Wednesday yesterday. Is that yesterday? No, Wednesday this week. Wow. I'm confusing my days up. But they've been kind of going through every single tournament, getting placements in every single tournament. And I think that's also why they got the call up into Division X.
Oh, certainly. I mean, it is definitely a big opportunity for them now to show that they can play with these top caliber teams and that they deserve a seat at this table. So I'm excited to see all of this unfold as we dive into game number 1. We have Splat Zones on Museum de Alfonsino. Let's take a look at these comps, and right off the bat, a couple of things jump out to me, Rice.
We see both sides actually have a Luna Blaster. Kind of a new revelation as people start picking up this weapon right now.
Yes, the Luna Blaster definitely has had a bit of not research, it's because I feel like this really is the first time that we're truly getting to see Luna take its place as a valuable part of the current meta, especially with top level teams. So we'll see how this works out for both of these teams, as early on we do see it is Black Lotus in the driver's seat. They did get first control of the zone, and they will lose control, but they maintain the numbers advantage, so they're going to be in an okay spot to open up this game.
Ooh, I think we're seeing a bit of connections here from Anger. Kind of a laggy Zuka there, but Anger's using this 10 shield to stall out the 52 Gallop. Has to jump out, got picked off by that whale, and this is going to be another hold for Black Lotus.
It certainly will, and they are going to slowly work their way through that scoreboard. They do have a numbers disadvantage right now, so this is an opportunity for Pollo to flip the zone, but they're not going to be able to do so. And oh, wow, just everybody dropping like flies on the side of Pollo. That is going to provide Entropy Black Lotus the green light to move up onto Plat and start making things very difficult for Pollo. And here is Anger now with the tent. Noctis going to be repositioning to jump up back onto Plat as well. And this is a full lockout being engaged by Entropy Black Lotus. 25 points remaining, and this one looks like it might ride out to a knockout if Entropy Black Lotus could hold this down. 2v2 situation. We need to see Pollo dive this zone, and here they go. They're not going to get there in time, and game number 1 goes to Black Lotus.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting just seeing how the momentum shift at the beginning of the game went once Black Lotus got full control. We saw that, at the beginning it was a bit of a slower fight, but then once they got that numbers advantage, they kind of rocketed forward, taking all that momentum and then pushing that Plat really fast as well.
Yes, certainly the case. So Pollo definitely experiencing an early setback there. They just kind of got staggered because even when they had the numbers advantage, it really felt like Black Lotus still in a 3v4 situation was keeping control of a lot of those key points and just held aggression in all of the right spots and was always ready to just pounce onto Plat and make it really difficult for Pollo to find any point of re-entry. So a beautifully executed game out of Black Lotus.
Definitely. I think it was also very hard for I think Pollo to really get anywhere because so much pressure was being put onto that E leader they had. We did talk about the Luna Blasters, but there was an E leader in that game as well. Not something we really see too often in top level play. But the issue is once you have an E leader, you have to try to set them up. You have to make sure they're in a safe position, but also in an aggressive position to get picks onto the opposing team.
Yes, and great point there. In that the E leader just never felt like they were able to get into a comfortable position. I mean, all the credit to Black Lotus there as well to just continue to force that E leader to have to keep moving, reposition, and never really found clean looks like they were probably hoping for. So nonetheless, a great start by Black Lotus. We're going to be jumping into game 2 here shortly, which is going to be tower control on Undertow Spillway.
Yeah, tower control, Undertow Spillway, a bit of I'd say a slower moving tower control map, at least when you're on that second checkpoint. Once you get past that second checkpoint, that's usually when the snowball starts happening on this map specifically.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, between that second and third checkpoint is where these games are won and lost. So I'm curious to see what the composition adjustments are going to be for both of these teams as we dive into game number 2. That leaders is going to be swapped out for the pencil, but it looks like that Black Lotus is going to be keeping with their composition. They really liked what they had in that last one. So they're going to be sticking where Your Love's now switched over to that 96 deco, and the junior coming out as well. Bubble on tower is always a great combination.
Yeah, Bubble really strong on tower, but Junior is kind of a tough weapon sometimes, pushing into these fighting weapons. 52 takes down that Junior as we speak. Labby's trying to push up, but the 96 gets that trade off onto their team, but it's just them left.
Yeah, and that is the first checkpoint already falling. Look at Noctis coming up the ramp, is going to trade out, but that is a great place to trade. If you are Black Lotus, it's just total chaos that Pollo is trying to figure out how to navigate. The Kraken going to come in clutch here. Your Love doing a great job of displacing the Tower Rider, taking them down, and providing their team with just a little bit of just wiggle room around the tower to regain some positioning here, regain some ink control, and now this tower reeling back to the neutral state. If they can try to isolate a couple of these players, because right now we're seeing a lot of Black Lotus players, just reach out a little bit. So I think Pollo, if they can recognize a couple of those opportunities like they did right there with the Luna Blaster, they're going to be able to set themselves up for success.
Yeah, now it's just Anger left trying to play defense. Noctis jumps in, gets actually the Kraken cancel, and this might be their opportunity to really hold off on that second checkpoint on the side of Black Lotus.
Yeah, now everybody coming back to the tower. The second they lost control, seemed like a slight miscommunication there. Cooler is going to be in play for Pollo, as now Your Love once again coming up with the Kraken, gonna try to force this tower to be left alone. Black Lotus backing off, but no, it's gonna be Your Love that ends up backing off, but they do get the nice pick there. Beautiful job, as Pollo really has the numbers advantage. I would love to see them start pushing up, and there it goes. That is an effective wipe. Pollo now pushing up towards that second checkpoint. They need to clear this checkpoint to get the lead, and they're gonna be in a really strong position if they do, plus the 3 specials online.
Yeah, we see this aggressive Kraken trying to push in. Labby has to kind of fall away from their wall, but the Kraken looking for more picks, but 2 of their teammates actually go down. Kraken might try to go for Mert from the back side here.
Your Love is on a rampage. Make it another double there. Trying to take out Anger. Make it a triple. Oh, Your Love is propelling Pollo into the forefront of this fight. They are taking a massive advantage. They are looking to add onto the scoreboard. Anger gonna dive this tower with the tent, but is gonna get pushed back. The Kraken coming out as well. 3 members down on the side of Black Lotus. This should be Pollo's game, but Mert's gonna dive the tower to try to save this game, and they stall it out. It's a full-on fight on the tower, and Black Lotus survives the push. They have brought this all the way down to 2 points remaining, so Black Lotus might still be in the game, but they have a long path to bring this one back, Rice.
Yeah, what an amazing push from Pollo. We saw what Your Love did, just being such a vein in the side of Black Lotus' side. But, you know, for Black Lotus, Labby probably has to do that same amount of pressure onto the pencil. Gets the pencil, but gets taken down by Your Love.
Your Love is having themselves a game right now. It has been them just making big play after big play, but now Black Lotus is back in the driver's seat, slowly working down that scoreboard. They do lose 2 members. Kraken coming in from the backside once again, and this is going to force the members back. Noctis is going to go down, and this is a huge stop by Pollo. 1 minute to go. This tower now going to be reeling back towards neutral, and it should be, this final minute is going to start in Pollo's favor. So that is everything you would love to see if you are a Pollo fan.
Yeah, Pollo just playing this mid very well. Just, you know, not having to push up as fast as they need to. Gets 2 down right here. They can keep holding on to tower, trying to get their specials ready for this last 30 seconds here.
30 seconds to go. Another Kraken out already. Going to be chasing down the back lines. Finds one. Looking for more. Going to be forced to retreat. Finally, Your Love's rampage comes to an end. But it is only Mert on the heavy edit left to hold down the back line. And Pollo is running it down right now. Oh, but might have just gotten a little bit too antsy there. 10 seconds to play, and Black Lotus will get an opportunity to push this, try to find a lead one more time.
Yeah, and I think they need to be really careful of Your Love. As we said, they can try to play for this Kraken, but that's 2 with the Zuka from Anger.
Oh my goodness, this is gonna come down to the wire, folks, so buckle up. Caltech gonna dive this tower, is gonna get called out for it. The 3rd checkpoint's falling. Your Love coming in with the Kraken, gonna try to put this one out of reach, and Your Love does it for Pollo. What a game for them. That is a career-type game from Your Love to get Pollo their first game in DivX.
We saw play after play from Your Love on that 96 Yao with both their main weapon and just the Kraken itself. And we just saw how aggressive they played. They kind of, you know, was straight away from their team a lot, but they trusted their team, knew that they would follow up to where Your Love would be. And that's how they got that push to 3.
Certainly, and I know that we were really talking about Your Love in that game, but I mean, what a collective team effort out of Pollo. In order to enable someone like the 96 Deco, it really does take a massive team effort. I mean, the Luna had a couple of really great plays there to just provide a little bit of chip damage. You always saw Tacos just kind of playing around Your Love, and that is what a good teammate does. And then the Junior as well, continuing to provide just a massive ink advantage that Pollo was able to take advantage of. So just overall, a great victory here for Pollo, as they can definitely give themselves a pat on the back saying, okay, we got one, and it's of course against Black Lotus. These are one of the biggest, scariest teams in Div X. So they've got to feel good about themselves in that one.
For sure. And they can use that mindset as well. It's like, we got one. What if we get another one? What if we get all 5? You know, you never know what can happen, especially with how LUTI sets are. They're best of 9. So teams can build up that momentum into a streak of wins.
Yeah, certainly. Well, let's see what the implications are now between having that big game for Pollo. What that's gonna mean as we look towards Rainmaker on Scorch Gorge. These teams are ready to go. So Rice, let's dive on in and see if Black Lotus has a response. What are the adjustments to be made? Because that was a big victory for Pollo, and you want to stop this momentum in its tracks.
Ooh, we do see actually the Wiper come out instead of the Luna on the side of Pollo. And as always, Black Lotus sticking with their guns.
They certainly are. So they feel really good about their current position. Said, you know what? That's a fluke. Just let this one go, and we're gonna just run it back and play the game that we know how to play. And I completely respect that. That's a really strong team to be able to feel still really good despite the setback in game two. But early on, it is going to be a clash in mid as we once again turn towards your love with a big Kraken here, trying to find one, does find two. So a big play for Pollo to get the first possession of the Rainmaker. Now the question is, can they reach this checkpoint? And oh my goodness, that is a big pick on the heavy edit. This Rainmaker is going to get stopped though in its tracks by that 52 gal, I should say. And this will be the end of the push. So a couple points on the board, nothing substantial, and it will probably be a very quick lead swap here for Black Lotus.
Yeah, for sure. We see Anger already positioning very aggressively, gets a Zuka pick, and is trying to just push that elbow for their teammates. Has that 10 shield, but the Wiper gets the sneaky shark there.
Oh? Ooh, what an interesting play here. Trying to just provide a little bit of misdirection going back and forth between the right side, left side, back to right side. That does get Black Lotus the lead and a couple of picks. Really stalled enough time for their entire team to get back into the action and start pushing up. So this will not result in a checkpoint though for Black Lotus, but they will get the follow-up and that will lead to the checkpoint being broken.
Yeah, for sure. We just saw Anger there stalling as much as they can with that 10 shield. The name of the game with 10 is grabbing attention and stalling out for their team, and that was the reason they got that checkpoint there.
Yeah, and now no follow-up here. So they do get the checkpoint, but the checkpoint is never quite enough here in Scorch Gorge. You really want to try to get it up to the pillow down the ramp. So this is still a very wide open game, but Black Lotus does carry this early advantage. 2 members down on their side though, so Pollo able to have a window of opportunity. Whoever's going to pick up this Rainmaker, it doesn't look like anybody's going to do so. They don't like the position still. So they're going to go ahead and continue to fight this one out. They want to get Labby out of here. They need to remove this Gal player before they're going to feel comfortable start moving up. But Labby is just going to go ahead and run around mid, just create some sort of confusion, and that is actually going to work as the rest of the team comes in and starts finding picks left and right. So a bit of a stagger now on the side of Pollo. This could result in more points for Black Lotus.
Yeah, and a double from Noct as a zip caster there, and this is going to be a couple more points. Never mind, your love again coming up clutch, but gets taken down by that bomb.
Yeah, that was a really good play by Your Love to just stall things out. But nonetheless, this should still be some more points on the board for Black Lotus. But of course, as I say that, I think that's Pretty Boy that came up with a couple of big picks there to prevent this push from going any further. Of course, as I say that, they definitely did push that just a smidge further. So 63 points remaining is where we will stop for now with Black Lotus. Pollo still not in a great position as Tacos comes up big with the bubble and finds a 2. Oh, the Junior coming up big now. It is just big play after big play on either side of this fight right now. So this really could go either way as we approach the final 75 seconds of this one, Rice.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of time for Pollo to push for this. There's not a lot of points differentiating them from that checkpoint to the lead. That's gonna be a huge triple from that hammer.
Oh, that is a big play indeed, but everybody is back in fast on the side of Black Lotus, so it is not going to be a huge advantageous play here for Pollo. They're going to have to try to make the most of this still. They have the slight stagger to work with. Checkpoint will be cleared, but do they have the follow-up? The numbers are not in their favor right now. Noctis looking to possibly pick up this Rainmaker. No, is just flirting with it for now. Is gonna back this one up. Oh no, Noctis! Oh, what a horrible place for that Rainmaker to end up. This pop is gonna be the most crucial point of this game race. Whoever wins this pop is gonna win the game, and it is going to be Pollo that picks this one up. 15 seconds to play. Disaster strikes for Black Lotus.
Yeah, that was such a dangerous backup. I know what Noctis was trying to do, but unfortunately, the hammer was there to stop them. And your love almost gets that Rainmaker. The hammer is back again. I don't know how many hammers Caltech has, but I feel like every time Black Lotus has the Rainmaker, they always have a hammer.
Oh, this is just a wild turn of events here as Pollo wins the game and takes advantage early in this set, going up 2-1. What a sequence of events, Rice. I don't even know what we just watched.
I am quite shocked by just how that ended there. You know, Noctis probably hoping that first time they tried to touch the Rainmaker, they got it, but then maybe they weren't close enough, maybe they just didn't really touch it or were hesitant, but then, they picked it up at an unfortunate time just because the hammer was right there sharking to get that pick onto the Rain.
Yeah, obviously hindsight 2020, but like watching Noctis there, like you could tell there was a just slight bit of indecision that was making it, because at first I was like, okay, Noctis gonna, pick this up and just try to get it out of the way because it's a 5-point game. You definitely don't want to leave that Rainmaker there unless you're just gonna hard camp it. So I really thought that we were gonna watch Noctis, grab it and swing it to the right to try to clear it or put it in a harder to get position, if someone were to run them down. But Noctis kind of just pulled it way back, and I think that was just a little bit too soon to make a play like that. So it just was a really big mistake on the side of Black Lotus. I mean, part of what I'm starting to even wonder now is, we just watched them play their DSB set. They won 5-2 against Mango Heckmech. So all that to say, this is game number 10 for them today. Just in consecutive, highly competitive matchups. So the question starts to become, is Black Lotus going to start to witness some fatigue? Because that is a long time to be putting yourselves in these best of 9 sets. They could be pushing themselves possibly, 7 games plus the 9, so up to 16 straight games in a highly competitive format with a lot of strategy being in play. Like, this isn't just a normal tournament. These are 2 league matches back to back.
Oh, for sure. And I think maybe they didn't have a lot of downtime between the 2 sets, and maybe they're just you never know. Maybe they're starting to warm themselves back up, maybe after a tiring set already. But you never know. Like at least for me, when I play a lot in consecutive order, I get extremely tired after maybe like game 5.
I feel that. But we are ready to go into game number 4. It is Clam Blitz at Inkblot Art Academy. So Pollo is going to be coming into this one up 2-1. No adjustments once again on the side of Black Lotus. Pollo going to be switching over to the Neo Luna Blaster. So an interesting adjustment there. But nonetheless, both teams really sticking with what they feel comfortable with right now, as Black Lotus is going to be engaging early. But it's Pollo who is hitting the gas, trying to be more aggressive than Black Lotus. And so far, it's a relatively neutral game. Of course, I say that as 2 members of Pollo do go down there in a bit of a stagger. But nonetheless, the backline doing a fantastic job on Pollo to prevent any sort of progression being made by Black Lotus.
Yeah, this pencil is doing such a good job zoning everyone out on the side of Black Lotus. Black Lotus has to take these off angles. We see, I think that's Keltec with the pick onto, I think that was Mer on the edit, but Labby taking them down there.
Taco's now gonna be dancing around here, trying to just get a little bit of ink down. The junior doing what juniors do best, but Pollo slowly being pushed, backs against the wall now, quite literally up against the basket, as there is a player in bats from Black Lotus. They need to pass around some clams. A little bit slow on the uptake here, but they will get the power clam. It is dunked. First points on the board to Black Lotus. Waiting to see what kind of follow-up we have here. And it looks like Tacos is going to dive this one. Is able to find one. I think is able to find two. Make that three. Tacos is on a rampage here. Now Keltec going to be following up as well. So that is a 1+5 from Black Lotus. But Pollo is already on plat, trying to find an opportunity to score, but Labby's going to do a great job of getting the pick there. Teammates going to be following up to get the pick on the Luna Blaster as well. Anger, though, is going to be running it up the ramp. This is just crazy back and forth right now, Rice, as both of these teams just are very quick to pick up the aggression following a potential push.
Yeah, and as I said towards the beginning, I think Black Lotus is doing a good job taking these off angles. We saw Anger going one side, the other three members of Black Lotus taking that other side, and they kind of made that pincher play. But as I say that, they're kind of being pushed back into mid here.
Yeah, this really is just back and forth. These teams just swaying through Inkblot Art Academy, as Your Love coming up with the Kraken once again is gonna be called out here. That is a wipeout. 2 power clams in Black Lotus's possession. There's 1, there's 2, 42 points remaining. Noctis with the follow-up, trying to pile in the clams. Is gonna be shut down, but 27 points remaining is where this push is at, and we are going further, all the way down to 15. They have enough to win the game if they could just pile them all in the basket. No, I think they were a clam away from them actually having a power clam to put this one away, but they don't get there. 1 clam will do it, but where is the clam? Noctis finds it. Black Lotus evens up this set in dominant fashion. Oh man.
You know, it was a little dangerous at the beginning because I think Pollo had a very strong opening in terms of having a lot of numbers advantage, but then Black Lotus kind of regrouped very fast. They said, okay guys, let's take these off angles. Anger, take a side, and then we try to play off of that tent shield. And that's kind of what I think this comp is really strong at, taking off angles, making opponents look at different directions.
Yeah, no, and they did just a really good job of continuing to take advantage of every single angle that they had at their disposal. Pollo just did not seem like they had quite the response there. We saw, you know, a glimpse of maybe a push or two formulating on their side, but every single time Black Lotus did a really good job of just putting the brakes on anything out of Pollo's camp, and they just, you know, were always quick to respond. I mean, even when they had like 2 down, by the time that 2 down was done, we already saw somebody trying to push up onto Pollo's plat. So Black Lotus, I think, just did a great job of being aggressive every single moment of the game, even when they were slowly being pushed back as well. It's just the retaliation was so fast.
Yeah, and I think, you know, speed is the name of the game. You know, as the faster you go, the more you'll get your opponents maybe off center. They might be slowly regrouping, but if your opponents are pushing extremely fast into you, you're not always ready to defend yourselves.
Yeah, certainly. As we are going to get geared up here for game number 5, it will be Splat Zones on B and D. So this is always a fun one. As one of the biggest Splat Zones B&D haters out there, I really do think that this early engagement is going to determine how this set goes, or how this particular game goes, I should say. As we dive into this one, Caltech on the wiper once again. Not really any other adjustments here. So everybody feeling really good, but Caltech just going to be the flex player for the whole lobby.
Yeah, for sure. Labby does get that early pick onto the junior, kind of feeding their gambit here. I think they're going to try to go for more, but we can kind of see here Anger going one side, the other 2 players going the other direction, but just a one-for-one trade.
Early on, it's Caltech with the double, trying to find one more, not able to do so there. Now diving in, Noctis endangered. Caltech with the triple, make it a quad for Caltech in the early game. Pollo will get control of this zone, so Black Lotus might have struck first, but Pollo is finding the better position a minute into this game.
Yeah, and Pollo is set up for a very good hold here. Unfortunately, used their specials a little early here, but if they're able to stagger Black Lotus, I think this can be a good lead for them.
Well, the lead will be in Pollo's favor for now. Noctis with this Zipcaster trying to find something. Not able to do so. Will get recalled. But 2 members to go down the side of Pollo as Your Love finds 1 in return, but is going to get shut down themselves. Noctis is able to start pushing up now. Noctis Labby, the 1-2 punch on the front lines. Going to be waiting for Anger to start pushing up as well. The tides have turned once again. Black Lotus in a fantastic position here. Noctis able to find 1, but is going to get shut down themselves. It is going to be a lead change in favor of Black Lotus. So the continuing to go back and forth between these 2 teams. The bubble going to be coming out from Tacos now. Noctis going to be diving in. Is going to get shut down by that hammer. And it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade as everybody is just fighting in every corner of this map. 3 down Black Lotus. Pollo will get control of the zone once again.
Yeah, but Black Lotus getting those jumps back in so fast. 2 down on the side of Pollo, and Anger trying to get a 3rd one here.
Oh, but it's an absolute bloodbath right now, Rice. Both of these teams just finding picks left and right. Nobody is safe in any section of this map, as Black Lotus, though, once again, setting themselves up for an aggressive push here. Gonna be hanging on to the zone, is able to shut down the hammer. A big play there. Anger gonna be moving up, but Your Love's gonna pop the Kraken once again, and this is gonna be going right towards the zone. The Junior gonna be following right behind. If they can pick off Merce, Boyo's gonna be in a great position, but no, now everybody's kind of divided up here. Caltech trying to find Noctis, gonna bring out the hammer, is able to find 2! 7 points remaining for Black Lotus, but it's gonna stop there.
Yeah, DRF, that was quite the play from the side of Caltech. They got 2 with that hammer, and, you know, sometimes hammer doesn't always work, but in this situation, they got 2 in that situation, was able to get their team back in, and we see here Labby playing that playing really far back from their team, just trying to stall out the rest of Pollo, but just not doing too much until they have to start retreating here.
Both of these teams really want this one. You could tell no specials online, but both teams coming up with a couple of players with specials now, as Noctis is going to use the Zipcaster first before anyone else can pull out a special. Is able to find 2. It's 25 points remaining for Pollo, but they're going to hold on to the zone as the Caltech hammer once again coming up big. Labby alone and Sneaky is going to get called out possibly. No, Labby's still alive, but the lead changes, but there's no answer in the zone. Pollo is going to take the lead once again, going up 3-2.
What a bloodbath in mid that was. You know, there's so many fights going left and right, up and down. Every corner of the map, as you said, in that middle of the game, and Pollo at the end was able to hold on in mid while Black Lotus was still trying to regroup at a certain extent.
There was just so many big plays that were made in this one. I mean, just every which way you turn. Ryan on the camera right now, there was not a bad angle that you could have gotten in this game, because there was action everywhere you went. Whatever player you were watching, they were getting a pick, or they were in the middle of getting picked by someone on a 2 or 3 pick rampage. It was just entertainment from start to finish. Pollo Black Lotus slightly restored my fate in Splat Zone's Barnacle and Dime. So I will give them absolute credit for that, because that was a show here in the middle of the mall.
For sure. And I think it's interesting to think back to this. Black Lotus did win the first zones game, but we rotated through through all the modes. And this time around, Pollo took the flat zones game. So you have to wonder, will the momentum keep pushing forward for Pollo into Mako Mart Tower Control, into Rainmaker Humpback? You never know.
We're gonna find out. This set has honestly been chef's kiss so far. These 2 teams are cooking. I mean, I guess Pollo should know a thing or 2 about cooking. Their name is literally chicken. So, but I mean, both these teams are absolutely delivering right now. Yeah, coming into this set, Popkin and I had a conversation after the match we commentated last night. We basically said that this is going to go one of two ways. It's either going to be a Black Lotus 5-0 sweep, or we're going to game 9. Like, there's no in between right now. And it really feels like we are on that trajectory towards a game 9 with how competitive these two teams have been. The Black Lotus victories have been very dominant, but Pollo is just the scrappiest DivX team so far this season. I mean, of course, very small sample size, but they have to be. With the reputation that they're coming in with, they have to be scrappy, and they are doing just that. But Rice, let's dive on in as that Neo Luna Blaster is making its way back into the composition.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Neo Luna Blaster, I think the important thing here is they're keeping that hammer. The hammer came so clutch in the last few moments of that last game, and in just some of the other games too. But we see Inger here pushing forward with that 10 shield, gets taken down by Your Love, and Your Love getting a second pick there, but Labby going in from that backline.
First control of the tower, 30 seconds in, goes to Black Lotus. They have a little bit of control in their favor right now with the numbers as well. The pencil player is going to go down and knock this on that Zipcaster, wreaking some havoc. Oh man, that first checkpoint is gonna fall with relative ease. Taco's trying to get the heck out of there. Not a great position to be in. Black Lotus is just running it down. They're gonna go 2 players down now though. So Mirth sees the writing on the wall, is gonna be backing up. They's gonna get shut down, and it's now just Noctis looking for points, looking to clear the checkpoint, and does so. A big play by Noctis.
Yeah, what a play from Noctis. Getting that checkpoint will be very critical on the side of defense for Black Lotus, because now they know they can play defense until they get to that checkpoint. But we see here Labby getting that pick onto, I think that was Caltech, and they're just trying to keep that momentum going forward.
Yeah, absolutely big plays here from Black Lotus to start. Pollo still looking to regain some footing back into mid. The Noctis play made them a little bit slow to get back into position here, and now they are just struggling to hold on to mid now. Black Lotus, though, coming back into the fight. Not a lot of ink in their favor, as Pollo has the slight ink advantage, but the numbers maintain themselves as even. Mert versus Your Love. Mert's going to win that 1v1 over on the side. Bubble now going to be coming out to clear through that first checkpoint, and Pollo does get it. So now the question is, can Pollo close the gap? They will a little bit, but the numbers continue to just be staggered. Both of these teams just losing 1-2 players at a time at a consistent rate, Rice. So it's going to continue to be a relatively even-paced game, but Black Lotus, they're okay with this right now.
Yeah, they're okay with this. They're okay with playing a bit of defense here. They have 2 specials ready, a third one ready for them. The cooler does go out, but Mert going down early. Have to pop this whale to try to hold on for defense, but not too much here. Oh, as I say that, Noctis gets a pick onto Caltech.
Now Your Love with that signature Kraken that's been coming up big all set long is able to 2 in 1 rush. Oh, what a lineup there. Your Love with a huge double, but the tower, nobody's riding it still. Finally, somebody gonna be able to get on that tower. So Black Lotus in position to put up a defensive front, and they are gonna be able to slowly work their way towards the tower. The tent is going to be backing up here. They're going to go ahead and just say, hey, you know, let them get some of these points here. Here comes the bubble, though, and everybody drops into the bubble. It is a fight club, and Pollo is going to lose 3 members and the tower. So they gain about 16 points there, but not enough to get in position for the lead. So a minute and a half to go, Rice, and this one is a little bit up in the air, but Black Lotus continues to just be okay with the pace of this game.
For sure, and we kind of just see this back and forth again of, Black Lotus has this lead, and as I said, when they have that second check broken, they can play that defense towards that second checkpoint on their own side. Noctis with that Zipcaster, I think, was able to get one here. Caltech gets taken down by Inger, and Inger's pushing for that side angle again.
Certainly, as now Kraken coming out once again. Not able to find anything there. The jump out by Black Lotus to keep their players alive. They do add 7 points to the board, so making another touchdown here for Black Lotus plus the field goal. So it is now a 23-44 remaining game. Pollo not in the best of positions here to get this tower back in their control and to hunt for that lead, but they do find a 2, so they are going to start this push now, but they need to be very careful of how they play these cards in this late game.
Yeah, but we do see 2 specials ready. Actually, the 3rd one ready. Kraken gets up, but no one really there to follow up with it, and they can camp this jump onto the tower.
Yeah, and this one looks like it's going to be out of reach from Pollo. Last player trying to get over to the tower, but not in a position to do so. So Black Lotus responds with another victory here to tie up the set once again. The 3rd tie this set.
Yeah, and I think the score is just gonna keep going 1-1-1 until probably game 9. I'm expecting a game 9 today. How about you, DRF?
It's only fitting because I'm on my lunch break right now, and last season when I did a commentary set during my lunch break, we went to a game 9 and my lunch break went way longer than it should have. So you know what, I'm okay if this is a curse that like I have now imposed onto LUTI tonight somehow. I'm okay with this. We'll keep the game 9 lunch break trend going. You know, I can certainly just hope for at this point.
No, the lunch break curse is pretty funny, but you know, if it does get to that game 9, we will be ending the set on zones, and we did see zones go to both teams, so you don't know exactly who has that advantage on zones specifically.
And of course, as you say, as we talk about this, sorry, I need to make sure that I'm all good on Slack.
For sure. Well, as we move forward, we are going back to a Rainmaker map. We're going to Rainmaker Humpback, and I think Rainmaker Humpback might be a bit more favored towards Black Lotus, as they do run a tense and also a very fast comp onto this map compared to Pollo, who uses a pencil comp, which I think sometimes can struggle a little bit on Humpback.
Yeah, I think that can certainly be the case. But I think if Caltech sticks with the Wiper, I really like the idea of this Wiper plus Gal combo to really lead the charge on the offensive end. You know, they've done a really great job of infiltrating the back lines of Black Lotus, getting behind them and creating just enough chaos for the rest of the team to slip through with the objective. So that's what I'm going to be kind of looking for here from Pollo as we jump into game number 7. Let's go ahead and take a look at these compositions, Rice, and start to paint a picture.
Ooh, we do see that vacuum on the side of Pollo. Maybe seeing if they can grab those extra points towards the end there with that vacuum.
And there's the Wiper Gal combo, just like I had suggested, but yeah, definitely thrown off by the Zap and Vac combos that are going to be coming out here as well. So there is a really interesting puzzle being put together by Pollo, and if it works out, it could pay massive dividends as already 2 down, make it 3 down. Pollo gonna be first to attack here. Checkpoint is gonna fall with relative ease, and this is Pollo leading the charge in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, and we saw a vacuum maybe a little bit early there, but they just used that to get that first checkpoint. 1 down on the side of Black Lotus, and Pollo can try to keep pushing this forward.
They are in a position to do so, but the Zuka is going to come out now and is able to find one. Teammates able to come through, find another, and this Rainmaker is going to get picked up, but Caltech's going to be coming for the Rainmaker. Is going to trade out. That's actually a pretty solid trade if you're Caltech. And Anger now going to be trying to get over to the rest of the fight, trying to support their teammate. Now going to be jumping into a 1v2 situation there. No, one player's going to back off. It's a 1v1, and Anger's going to win that one out. Numbers advantage in Black Lotus's favor. Of course, as I say that, the tide quickly turns as 3 go down on the side of Black Lotus. I mean, it's an absolute bloodbath. And once again, these two teams continue to just scrap at each other. I mean, you just can't get better than this. It is absolute fight night here at LUTI tonight.
For sure, these teams are going constantly back and forth, but we see here Black Lotus on that advantage state. Your Love coming up clutch again, getting knocked this down, but the Rainmaker gets picked off right when they pick it up.
Jumps coming in, very aggressive jumps from Black Lotus. The numbers in their favor now. Here it comes, the charge led by Black Lotus, but they're gonna get shut down at 49 points remaining. They do lose 2 members. This push looks like it is dead for now. So Pollo somehow gets the stop there, even though that they were 2 down. So this just continues to be a game of inches between these two. This is really gonna come down to the wire, it feels like, as Pollo has the numbers advantage. They do get the Rainmaker reset. They're gonna be diving into mid now, but they're gonna be met with the heavy edit. The heavy edit not able to find anybody though, and the Rainmaker is gonna get popped. Blue ink in mid, pink ink in mid. It's just absolute chaos, but the specials and numbers advantage lies in Pollo's favor, but the lead is in Black Lotus's, so it's not going to take much now for Pollo to get the lead, but Labby with the patience to pick this one off and save this push. Oh my goodness. Bryce, I have no idea what's going on.
I actually don't know how Noctis got picked off there. I'm assuming it's that Rainmaker pop. But, you know, that vacuum was so big, it could have been that vacuum shot coming out. That's 2 down on the side of Pollo, 3 down. It's just the Zap jumping in, and that's the wipeout for the side of Black Lotus.
How did Black Lotus survive that? There is no way. Pollo was set up to take the lead, and now it's going to be Black Lotus adding on to their lead. This is just craziness here in Humpback Pump Track. 2 down on either side now. Taco's looking for an entry point to get up to that Rainmaker, but the Rainmaker trying to get some jumps in. No, not going to be able to do so there. So 46 points remaining, so that's a couple more points on the board for Black Lotus, but all it takes is for Pollo to round the corner. That is all it's going to take to get the lead, but not when all of your teammates go down.
I don't even know how that sequence started. I think probably Noctis at that flank with the Luna Blaster gets taken down by that bomb, but just the constant back and forth, the bloodbath between these two teams has been outstanding.
Oh my goodness, 1 minute to go. It is anybody's game. Everybody back into mid, fighting it out, trying to get the upper hand, and the upper hand goes to Black Lotus once again. They're gonna pick up this Rainmaker. They want more points. They know this lead is not safe. Behind the waves of the tent, we get down to 38 points remaining, but Black Lotus goes 3 down yet again.
Yeah, and we see Anger here with that patient Shark. I think they get called out by the side of Pollo. Gets actually 1 from that. If they can get 2, that would be critical. Gets traded out, but that just gave Black Lotus enough time to get back into mid.
Black Lotus now is gonna take the Shark approach. It looks like everybody just waiting for Pollo to make the move. They are waiting for the prey to take the bait. The bait is grabbed. Noctis though gets called out and has to reposition. Nobody gonna be on this left side. It is going to be front versus front here. It's all gonna come down to this elbow push, and that's going to be Pollo going down. They rode the elbow. They tried to see if they could get through, but it was not enough. A brute force attempt at the 11th hour, and Black Lotus survives game 7 to take back the lead for the first time since game 1.
Yeah, and I think Black Lotus was very smart to play that front to front, because I think they saw that Pretty Boy had the vacuum. So what you do when they have a vacuum for an overtime push is you just overload that as soon as it gets popped, and they were able to pick off the Rainmaker.
Bryce, we have 1 to 2 more games. I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like my heart rate is slightly up. The commentary has turned into a full-blown workout.
I feel you.
Shortness of breath.
No, every single play I've been watching, I'm like stopping, like breathing. I'm like, oh my god, this might be the push. It might be over. But you know, both teams are playing incredibly. And guess what? This is week 1 of LUTI.
And this is Black Lotus. The team that, you know, is coming into this as some of the favorites to win Div X being taken to a game 8 now by Pollo. So, I mean, all the credit to Pollo here, because I think a lot of people kind of were coming into the set saying like, okay, well, you know, let's watch the Black Lotus show, but Pollo saying, like we are just as good as Black Lotus could be. It's Div X, the same div. It doesn't mean anything. We're at that same skill level, and that's all that matters. Give us an opportunity, and we are going to make the most of it, and that they are. But hey, they now have to win these last 2 games if they want to pull off a stunning opening week upset. But they certainly have the opportunity to do so, and this big upset attempt is gonna have to start unfolding here now on Umami Clamblitz.
Yeah, Umami Clamblitz. This is a tough match. You know, just in general, pushing in and scoring on this map is very hard because there's only one entrance towards that basket, and it's that choke right under the snipe, as most people would say on this map. And you have to get past that choke. But I think both teams have things to do that. If Pollo sticks with the junior, they have a bubble to try to push through that choke. And on the side of Black Lotus, they have a tent to try to push through that choke too. It just depends on who gets that first break into that basket.
Well, we did see Black Lotus on that last Clamblitz game. They were just totally dominant. So that is going to be something to watch out for here, because they just never let up on the gas. They were just constantly aggressive, pushing, trying to keep Pollo back, and they succeeded with that approach. I mean, again, even when they were 2 down, they were still aggressive. Pollo had to constantly split their attention because there was always somebody just within striking distance of the basket that they needed to deal with. So that's going to be something to continue to watch out for here with Black Lotus. I think they're going to be coming into this with a slight favor. The game, I think, going to be slightly to their advantage here. So Pollo going to be fighting a bit of an uphill battle, but that's what they've been doing all set long, and they've been succeeding. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Game number 8, Black Lotus at match point. The comps largely staying the same with what we've seen previously in this set. So let's get to it, Rice.
Yeah, and we see, again, aggressive opening from Labby onto top mid, trying to feed that opening gambit, if you saw that in the weapon comp. But Noctis gets that first pick onto Caltech, and they're going to try to push through this bubble.
Yeah, so a bit of a scrappy beginning here, as these teams have been doing all set long. Anger looking to fight that 1v2 on the right side, is going to get called out for it. The third member of Pollo going to be coming in to assist. Caltech going to be trading out here. Your Love cleaning up that 2v1, trying to avenge their teammate here. The numbers in favor of Pollo for now, as they have to back up though. Try to get rid of this Luna, which they do. Labby gonna start moving up now, able to pick off Your Love. Now Labby gonna have to back off here, and it's just a chain reaction, Rice. One player picks off another and picks off the next, and it's just complete chaos. Nobody in control quite yet.
Yeah, it's that stalemate into mid while they try to gather the resources, the clam economy, as we like to call it. We see the Luna on the side of Black Lotus gets that first pick, and that's going to open a bit of a push for them. But Your Love getting the pick onto Anger there.
Both these teams just putting up a great wall just as a defensive front. Nobody cracking through yet. Both teams holding strong, holding control of mid. A power clam being built on the side of Pollo. Your Love gonna be able to pick off someone with that Kraken. Taco's gonna be the bearer of this clam. And with 2 members down on the side of Black Lotus, this could be the opportunity for a first strike, but gonna be slowed down by the Zuka shots. Finally gonna be able to slip on in. The tiniest bubble in the world gets made, but it's enough for the clam to get scored. But this might be a one and done push, Rice.
Yeah, it might be that one and done push. Your Love trying to get a pick there, but isn't able to. And that's going to be the basket close for the side of Pollo.
Black Lotus now looking to respond. They take back control of mid, but there's a lot of pink ink for them to have to navigate through. And they are going to start pushing up. They are sniffing around that spiral, see if they can find any picks there. Going to be backing off there for now. Labby with the wall, going to be able to help pick off the blaster there. So It's going to be a bit of a trade here, left and right. Once again, Anger builds up the power clamp, throws it back, waiting for that tent shield to come back to lead the charge. Is trying to dodge Your Love's Kraken, but not going to be able to do so. 3 down, Black Lotus, make it a wipeout, and this could be an avalanche for Pollo, but they don't have the clams. They're trying to pass them around still. Caltech with 7. Somebody give Caltech a clam!
Caltech finally able to get the clam, and we see Pretty Boy with a ton of clams going in right now. 3 clams to stall, and this might be the floodgate. The floodgate is gonna keep opening for the side of Pollo.
Oh, 34 points remaining. This looks like the end of the push for now, as Tacos is already backing up because they know the name of the game. The second that this push starts to seem to be over, Anger on that tent starts leading the charge for a retaliation. And great play by the junior there just to continue to throw bombs. It really forced the tent back and is going to force Black Lotus to take a much slower approach. Just wow, textbook play here by Pollo. Look at this team play here. Black Lotus might have control of mid, but they can't crack through the Pollo defense right now.
Yeah, Noctis trying to get rid of this pencil, but the pencil able to take down the Zipcaster, and the pencil is going to be a huge part of this defense here.
Wow, Pollo just putting up an absolute fortress that Black Lotus could not break through. And so now Noctis is going to once again try to lead the charge, is going to trade out. 50 seconds to play. Black Lotus yet to score. It looks like they're really only going to have one opportunity to do so. As oh my goodness, the power clamp, Bryce, I'm just running out of words right now. Save me from this.
No, definitely. We see Your Love with that Kraken again, trying to open the floodgates for this defense. We see Caltech trying to take down Mert, but gets taken down, and this might be Black Lotus's chance to only make this push here.
But they don't have a lot of clams to work with. Somebody's gonna have to go back for that pity clam. It looks like, no, they're just gonna go ahead and hold the front down. Able to start piling in some clams. Nobody going for that pity clam still. The front line's being held down. Tacos putting up that bubble, trying to make it more difficult. Time slowly running out, and Pollo forces game 9. The curse of the lunch break is real.
Ooh, I mean, I think we couldn't have picked a better caster to have for this set. Another Game 9 in Division X, and this is the same group as yesterday.
This is the same group as yesterday.
Yeah, these.
Oh, so 2 Game 9s within the same Div X group. Great. Love that. Well, what we can certainly hope that this Game 9 doesn't end up like yesterday's Game 9, that's for sure.
Fingers crossed everyone on this team, or on both teams, is at least connected to good Wi-Fi. Even better, they have LAN connection. But fingers crossed, no DCs, and we get another exciting Game 9.
Oh, Rice. Oh, here we go. It all comes down to this. Splat zones, Hagglefish Market. These two teams have tied up the set 4 times now. 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, now 4-4. We can't go to a 5-5. I'm sure if there was a game 10, we would get there. But this is where it all gets decided. The final destination of this set. This really could go either way.
Yeah, and you know, I think we'll see the same comp coming out from Black Lotus. They stuck with it for the whole set, and I don't think they're changing it. But I'm wondering, on the side of Pollo, is Caltech going to go with the Viper, or are they going to go with that Luna Neo? Or maybe even back to the V Luna. But I think they're going to stick with that hammer.
I think so too. They've had a lot of success with the Viper Hammer combo. Just being able to come up with big doubles. I mean, we saw that in the Barnacle and Dime game, that splat zones, they just would pull it out and quickly find two players to be able to switch the momentum back into their team's favor. So I definitely fully anticipate the wiper going to be coming out. I mean, that's really the only big weapon change that we can anticipate, because I know that we talked about the vac and zap earlier, but that was really just for humpback rainmaker. So, you know, I think it's really going to come down to, you know, Keltec on that wiper and the tent Labby on the side of Black Lotus. Those are going to be the two big players to watch out for here.
Yeah, and we have to be careful of Cool Ace taking those those off angles on this map. That is going to be very critical to the win for Pollo here.
Well, let's dive on in. This zone starts with a very neutral struggle. Just a great summary of how this entire set has gone. Pollo is first to strike. They get control of the zone, plus the 2 picks there, and now are holding forward just a little bit, but Taco's gonna lose their teammate, gonna hold the brakes just a little bit, because they know that they can't fight this one alone, as Black Lotus is going to dive on into this zone and take back control, and they are looking to even up the score very quickly.
Yeah, they need to be careful. Tacos here has that bubble, uses the bubble to their advantage. It's just Anger left trying to defend the zone, but they might have to try to jump out here.
Oh, what a good jump there. I did not think they were going to be able to pull that off, but hey, that's why you run some cooler in your composition to get some of your crucial players, aggressive players, out of those sticky situations. So they executed that very beautifully, as the tent did a great job of just holding down front lines as literally the only player on the field. So it's going to be Black Lotus. They will get the lead following the massive Noctis double there. So 1 point lead for now. Your Love gonna get shut down at the end of the Kraken, and now the hammer gonna be coming out though. Keltec's been really big with this all set long, not gonna be able to find anybody there quite yet. So Black Lotus continues to work down the scoreboard, and this is going to be a big opportunity now as 2 players go down on either side for Pollo to get back to zone, which they do. The bubble now gonna provide a bit of protection as the Junior takes the 1v2, and they're gonna survive this and hold on to the zone.
Yeah, that Junior was crucial for them to survive there. They got their teammates back, and this is now just a 4v4 fight again. Well, back to a 3v3 fight, and it's just the constant back and forth between these two teams.
Yeah, it is, as Pollo once again grabs control of the zone. 2 members going down on the side of Black Lotus, so they will get out of the penalty, but a big pick by Mert. Mert, very damaged here, is going to back up and is able to get their teammates back into the action, is going to pop that cooler as well. The Zuka coming out, and it's going to be Keltec that gets shut down with the hammer in their hand, and this is going to be Black Lotus saving the lead, is able to find another there. Noctis didn't even get that pick. Somehow their teammate came in for that one instead, and Black Lotus is going to lead this charge. Should be able to get out of the penalty here, but the question is, how many more points could they possibly score before Pollo inevitably extends this game?
Yeah, Black Lotus needs to try to get a big lead here, but they also need to be careful going down early. We see Noctis going down here. Ooh, nice pick.
Keltec shut down. Oh, what a pick that was, Rice. I mean, Keltec getting shut down on back-to-back hammers. This could be it, but no, Keltec will not be denied again. Keltec said, hey, you stopped me twice, but I'm gonna get 3 this time. Oh, what a huge play by Keltec with the revenge hammer. Pollo back in control. Rice, this is really gonna be one of the best sets of the season.
That is definitely for sure, but we see here Black Lotus trying to get the resources ready for this retake. They have 3 specials. Kraken coming out from Your Love. They need to be careful here, as Your Love might just use this Kraken to position far into their backline.
Tacos with the clutch bubble here, but no, 3 down, Pollo. I don't even know what happened. Who made that play? It might have been Keltec. I don't even know. Keltec's going to jump back with the hammer. So it is going to be a clutch stop here. Black Lotus maintains control of the zone. Not a whole lot of penalty to work with, but just enough time for Pollo to try to make something happen. Black Lotus holding down the front lines, trying to keep everybody in front of this zone, make it very difficult for Pollo to break through. Labby's going to start pushing up, but Anger's going to get shut down by the Zuka. Your Love's going to start diving into the zone with the Kraken. The entire team's going to dive in. This is going to come down to the wire, and that's a wipeout. Black Lotus goes down.
There's only almost under 30 seconds left here. Labby trying to hold the front. Has that killer whale ready. Noctis ready with that Zipcaster. But do they see Caltech just sharking under their tent here?
I don't know if they see it. Caltech does have the hammer at the ready. 15 seconds to play. Caltech is not gonna be denied. Caltech with a huge double, and Black Lotus scrambles to try to get back into the play here. 5 seconds to go. This is gonna come down to the wire. Black Lotus trying to hold on for dear life. No, Pollo will take the lead and the upset here in week 1 of LUTI. My goodness. Oh.
What insane back and forth between these two teams, and Pollo coming out in the end on game 9 with Splat Zone Tacklefish. They had that hold at the end. As I said, Caltech sharking there, and as you said, there was that hammer ready for them.
I cannot believe what we have just had the privilege to witness, Rice. An absolute masterclass in high-level Division X Splatoon gameplay. Pollo has rightfully claimed their seat at the table. They just pulled off one of the biggest upsets that we could have anticipated. Like I said, this was either going to be a Black Lotus sweep or we were going to go to a game 9, and that's exactly what we got. And this Pollo has to feel so good about themselves now, because they really were coming into this with pretty limited expectations, and now they are part of the conversation.
Yeah, they're part of the conversation, and this might be a dagger into Black Lotus's chances, because if they want to try to make playoffs for Division X, they have to go perfect the rest of the season for their next 4 sets.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily, obviously you typically want to be, 4-1. There's always some shenanigans that could happen that you could get in 3-2. So I always, not a big fan of the narrative that you have to be perfect to make it to the playoffs, because 3-2 is still valuable. You could make your way in through tiebreakers in that regard. But nonetheless, we get the upset, 12 seed Pollo over 1 seed Black Lotus. So a fantastic job by Pollo to really play the set of their lives so far. I honestly, I think this is all the credit to the LUTI seeders. They had to make a call, and they made the right one.
Yeah, definitely. They brought in a team that, again, people thought probably isn't a Division X team, but they came up, proved that they pretty much, hey, we should have been Division X. We shouldn't have been in that maybe conversation.
Hey, honestly, all the respect in the world to both of these teams. An instant classic tonight. If you're in Europe, I guess tonight. Afternoon if you're here in the States. So, you know what? If you all ever, Falco, if you ever need a guaranteed game 9, just ask me to take another lunch break. We're going to keep this trend going, I guess.
We'll have to keep track of this. We're 2 for 2 right now. Is that correct?
Oh man, it's hot. I'm tired. And I'm hungry because I didn't actually eat lunch during my lunch break. But Pollo's gonna need to hook me up with some chicken now or something, because I am. There's a lot of emotions that I think we are experiencing as casters. The chat is experiencing, and I'm sure a magnitude of tenfold here for the players after running through that gauntlet.
Yeah, for sure. But I think we should make this quick to sign off, as you have to go back to break, go back to work, as
I don't know if I can.
But I think we both at least need to have something to eat. Where can the good people find you?
You can find me recovering after this, but you can find me on Twitter, DRF_Splatoon, Blue Sky, DRF-Splatoon, Twitch, Triton DRF. But per usual, you can find me over at the CCA covering all things collegiate Splatoon. Rice, how about yourself, my friend?
Yeah, everyone can find me at We Like Rice. It's all one word. usually just all lowercase. But also you can find me at you can find me at Booyah. We had our second edition of Booyah last week, and I'll also be around Splatoon tourney for the LAN Championship Showdown.
Absolutely. Hey, that's going to be something really big to watch out for as well. But that is not it for LUTI tonight. It is it for right now, but come back in a few hours when we will have this Division 4 matchup, What the Sigma versus Gaia, which is... Those are some team names that exist.
Certainly. Well, if you guys are ever interested in rewatching these VODs, they are on YouTube. I believe we did restream this set. So if this set will be immediately will be ready for you to rewatch.
If you want to relive the action like now, which you should, because what the heck was that? Go and do so. Go tell your friends, go tell your mom, like, that you just witnessed history on LUTI tonight. With all of that said, thank you all so much for joining. For Rice and myself, this has been DRF. Thank you all so much for joining. We'll see you all a little bit later for that Division 4 matchup. Stay tuned.